Black Creative Handbook with Kassandra Lauren Gordon, your host. Woo! The excitement. I'm so excited about life. You know, when I listen to other podcasts, people talk about their life, and I feel that if this is their BCH community, if this is their the BCH gang, to build some trust. And sometimes people do that by telling a bit about themselves. So I think when you listen to the podcast, you hear my personality, you hear how I talk, you hear how I draw all the juicy information from our guests to make sure that you don't have to spend none of your coins doing 10 million courses to find that information, which is juicy and very relatable and attainable and something that you could implement in your own life. And when I listen to some podcasts, I think, oh, let me tell a little bit about myself, not to be too self-indulgent, just to let you know where I am in my creative practice and what I'm working on. I'm going to get soon. I don't want to be one of these YouTube or podcasts where people take 10 million hours to get to the point, because the title of this podcast is to be how to be super intentional as a creative. Because sometimes as creatives, we are not super intentional. So I'm just moving stuff off my thing. You're going to see, I love to do minimal editing because this is real life and not everything has to be edited. Anyhow, how to be super intentional as a creative. Because sometimes I feel that is the mistake I made in my 20s. I just let's just go with the flow. That person seems nice. I want to be their friend. Blah, 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 blah. And it's not like I was an airhead. It was just like I wasn't strategic. I just did things and hoped for the best. It was like a magpie. Oh, that looks shiny. Let me do that. Oh, that didn't work out. Oh, let's try another thing. No, you got to stick at things, if you understand what I mean. So let me tell you a bit about my creative practice right now. So one of the things what I do, I've had a big kind of collaboration with a diamond company of creating a collection, which is out for June. So I'm at the moment of designing some jewelry, especially over this weekend, and just make sure I get my designs right, which goes to the US with this diamond company. So I'm excited about that commission. That's one of my biggest collaborations in jewelry world. I'm working on jewelry and cancer. That sounds wrong, but a jewelry and science, which involves talking about cancer and the relationship with that. The exhibition goes around April, so I'm busy with that. I'm busy with a few poetry projects, and one of my documentaries has been submitting my documentaries into film festivals. So there's a lot going on in my life at the moment as a creative, as a multidisciplinary artist. And yeah, so I hope that if you want to hear any about my art or my practice, let me know, as I know that this is a community and I just want to make sure that everyone is listened to. I appreciate all of the consistent listeners. So when I look at the stats, at the end of year stats, what Spotify or Anchor has given me, like, you have been a consistent bunch, and I appreciate it. I appreciate every one of you. What I really, really, really appreciate if you could just make some reviews. If you are consistently listening, which I can see in different countries, in 3 different countries at least, you're consistently listening, please just leave a review. It means so much to me, because I'm looking and I can't see no reviews, and people feel like this is a dead podcast, and it's not dead because we are alive. Oh, creaky chair. Here we are everywhere. So how I put down 5 points. Let me do a bit of story time, because this is what you do. I'm learning to set the scene before I go into the information. Even though I love to go into the information, but storytelling is important, and that's what I'm working on in 2022. How did I come to this content today? Right, over the weekend, my partner, has a business partner in one of his businesses, so we went to his house, and it was an experience. If you might not, just say it's an experience. And what I noticed that my partner's business partner, it was very intentional and very strategic. Everything in his house, it was in a certain place. Every activity was created. So I got to his house. He made me talk to his missus. We did certain activities, what he wanted to do. He did like workshops. I was like overwhelmed by what is going on in this place. But even though I felt a bit overwhelmed with so much activities and how they were just quite sometimes seemed contrived and very calculated, what I took from that was a gift. You gotta make, it depends how you see the situation, you have to have gifts. And one of the gifts was like, I am not as intentional as I thought I was. I've got to level up my intentions in this life so I can create the design of the life and the environment that I want in my life. I'm getting older. I cannot live the life what I am in the past. It's all about the future. So hopefully we can be great social and life architects in the creative field. So there's 5 things which I've noticed which will help you as a creative. Write them down, brief them, meditate over them. Number 1 is to be careful of the media and the technology, what you consume. Okay, I used to be good at this before lockdown or COVID-19 life. I didn't really watch any reality TV shows, but I don't know, because I lived by myself and I was looking for comfort and just to escape from the wars I was in when it was lockdown. I started to watch a lot of reality TVs. The funny, the entertainment, I love the shade and the non-shade. I have watched a lot of reality TV, and that takes away from my creative time. Now, I don't want to be like, oh, you watch reality TV, you're not intelligent or anything like that, or you're just into celebrities. It's not that. I just find it just entertaining how people are and how they ham things up for reality TV. It's nice, it's good to have, but I've cancelled the subscriptions. I do not watch as much. I've limited myself to like one show, which I really like, and that's it. And that has helped me just to see the world more positively and to use those hours, like X amount of hours a day watching reality TV, and put it in my creative practice and to be very intentional. And that has helped me so much. I'm just calculating. I think I've shaved like 8 hours off. And I put those 8 hours, like a working day, into my creative practice. And that has been so productive looking for, I had some meetings with some clients, and also for potential collaborations. So I'm excited, not for now. I'm excited in April. I'm going to do a recap and tell you what happened in April. Because I just cannot wait to tell you like how these 3 months in January onwards is going to be so super intentional, and I'm going to design every move where I'm going to go. The second thing is to prioritize. So this follows on. I already have I didn't say a vision board only, but I've got a plan, strategic plan of what I'm going to do in this quarter, depends if it's fiscal or whatever, but the quarter 1 of this calendar year. So January to March. So it's to build up my mini portfolio of art projects. So I'm talking to different people to collaborate, to develop my poetic practice, my visual practice, do some visuals, some workshops, that type of thing as a multidisciplinary artist. Doing a photo book, doing a book about the exhibition, what I'm going to do. So I'm really all about my visuals for this month, just beefing it up, because after March, I just want to talk to different people and strategize, like, this is what I've done, this is my portfolio, can we work and just leverage, and the only way is up. I was going to say Cardi B said it, but that song, when it's up, when it's up, when it's up, and get stuck. Can't remember the words, but you know what she talks about. The third thing is about building your village and friendships. I tell you, in my 20s, especially when I came to London, I thought, I come from Coventry with £200 in my pocket. X amount of years ago, I was going to live the life, my 20s, going to be like Sex in the City, but not much sex, and I was just going to live my life, just drinking and live my 20s and dancing. Did I do that? No. I was just going to I tried any social event, went on meetup.com. Oh, that meetup looks nice. Go to that meetup, waste evening. Oh, this reading group looks nice. The reading group's a bit dead, but oh, I like books. No. Be intentional with the people who you want to be with. And sometimes realize people who are your friends or not your friends, or they're just there for a season. You can invest a lot of time into people and you realize they're not your friends. I know this is not a well-being relationship channel or platform, but as a creative, like people you hang around with, are they creatives? I say this again and again because I spent a lot of my 20s hanging around with non-creatives, and every time you ask a non-creative about a solution, sometimes they can be very, very negative. So if you say, okay, I'm going to quit my job so I can do creative things, and I'm like, oh, you need to have money, you need to have a job, you need to do this, you need to do your 9 to 5, you need to do this, you need to do that, oh, you can't do this, oh, you've never done this before. And they only know how to have a 9 to 5 job. They can't think about outside the box about how to create money. Otherwise, if you're creatives, they can show you a different way of making money or a different way of tackling the problem. I think being a creative is you problem solve. You see something in the atmosphere and you put it in an artistic form. And how do you do that? You have to catch the stimulus, do something with it, ideate it, and then you get to something tangible or a concept. Creatives with problem solves in different ways. And if you're self-funding your creative practice, you learn to problem solve quicker because you have to eat. Can't just live on air and ideas unless you're rich. I don't know. So that's very important, to make sure that you build the people and be very strategic who you're hanging around with, who you're talking to. Or do you have a list of people like, oh, I need to talk to that person today, I'm going to be at that event with that person, I'm going to make sure that I'm their friends. And I'm saying, like, with that story I gave with my partner's business partner, where he was trying to go into the kill, like, I want to know everything about you in 2 seconds and trying to hurry up rapport. I'm not asking you to hurry up rapport. Sometimes rapport, building relationships takes months, takes years. It could take a couple of weeks, but you've got to put the effort in. You got to be kind. You can't be seen as fake. That's very important. And where best to start? If you're doing something creative, try to be with someone else who's creative. You know, creatives likes feedback. If you see, you know, social media, events, do it. Put yourself out there. You're gonna say, but I'm an introvert. I can't do it. But introverts go make money, and you know, a lot of artists you see are introverts, but they have to find a way. Sorry, not sorry. The fourth thing is how do you communicate? Being intentional about how you communicate visually. Now, I used to be of the thought, if I just put something out there and if I try, you can make mistakes online. No, vulnerability. I was going to say, be vulnerability. I think it's like what I realized, I think when YouTube and social media first happened, it was more of realness to it, but now people get more sophisticated. It's a more of created vulnerability. People really think about how their image, or try to sell vulnerability and on authenticity and all that life. And when people meet me in real life, I'm very authentic, and that's who I am. But I'm learning online digitally. You have a digital profile, you have a digital world, and you can't just say what you want to say unless you've got a big following and they love you, you know, unless your following dictates what you say, and you know, it's a messy type of thing. So what I'm trying to say to you is, like, how do you present yourself online? Make sure your digital life is on point, and that's what I'm focused on. My digital life, on my website, everything. Even when I'm coming to you on a video, I'm like, oh God, I gotta put makeup on. Oh, it's a step because I don't really wear makeup too much, but I'm trying to show you an effort. Maybe I should design the walls, looks a bit bleak, I'm in a different location today. Maybe I should just put a few things there, put a little, you know, make it look nice a little bit. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. The makeup was the first step before I come on here today, because I thought, I'm going to talk to the community. I want to look best. My baby hairs hasn't stand down, but on the edges, you know, I tried to lay my edges for you, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You get me. Aha. Okay, so yeah, online and how you look, how do you want to communicate with your clothes? So I'm going to do a deep dive and a series about looking, because I'm really into like styling, how we portray ourselves to the world online and in the physical person, and what archetype you want to be. I'm really focused. So this is one of my goals in the next kind of few months. So I'll do something on that. And the last thing, the fifth thing, to how do you be super intentional as a creative, is to learn how to let things go. How to let things go. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the hardest thing for me. I might be confident, like do this, do that, think about this, think about that. However, sometimes I find it hard to let things go. Like when people do me wrong, like you work with a creative and they say they're going to do the work and they don't do the work, and you're waiting on that person to do the work and they don't do it. You just have to let it go. Like that person is just not our timing. It burned me. Sometimes you have to lose money when you're working with collaborating people. It's just not our timing. We're just not aligned. We're just not aligned in timescales and life and personalities. Let things go, because you just harbor all this resentment and you just create anxiety. I'm talking about a friend, no, I'm talking about me. Let things go. And what I try to do is just try to see the bigger picture, and I try to see every time when something undesirable has happened in projects, in my creative practice, just try to see it as a lesson. I say it's a gift. Like when I was talking about my business partner being in his house, in the environment, when he was forcing conversations on me to get this rapport and get what he wanted to get out of the conversation, like literally in his house, first half an hour was like, what are the challenges in you and your partner's relationship? Tell me all of the challenges and all the struggles I'm like, I haven't met you in like 2 years. And you want me to tell you my whole life story, you know? We don't have that trust. We're not there yet, okay? So let things go. If things will come to you, they will come to you. They're meant to be. If they're not, they're not. And if not, it is what it is. And focus on the things what you can control and what I can't control. So I do an exercise where I write things on the paper, like, can I control this conversation? Like, can I control this situation or not? What can I control in this situation? And I write them down. And that gives me that locus of control to feel like, yes, I can do this. I can do this right now. Everything is all cool. And that's where I'm at. So I hope this is really useful. Let me know if you want to know about my creative practice, or, you know, what is the community? Does the community want to share their creative practice or what they're doing? Let us know. I love to share. Oh yeah, there's another thing. Please support this. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Write one comment. I'm really trying to up the engagement, because the numbers are saying that people are there on YouTube and listen to this podcast. The numbers are there, but I'm just trying to work out how we can make it into more of a community and we interact and engage with each other. I do have a Patreon channel, account. If you want to support the channel with help with the editing and support this content, since I do this, you know, being a content creator, probably like full time now, to support this channel. If you want to do that, that would be really, really helpful. Please look at all the links. People are supporting the channel already and believe in this podcast and want to help creatives to, you know, fulfill their potential and do it without paying for stuff. But if you can support the channel, that'd be really, really great, or support this platform. If you have any guests you might think who you'd love to hear in the creative endeavors, let me know and I will reach out to them. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. This is the Black Creative Handbook for artists, entrepreneurs, and creatives to survive and to thrive. Peace out. See you next week.